Welcome everyone to Building the Sales Machine. This is an event focused on the best and brightest sales leaders in New York, which all of you represent. In case it wasn't clear on your way in, we're in the beautiful offices of Home Team. Quick round of applause for them. Thank you guys for hosting us. They are a healthcare startup based in New York, focused on elder care and seniors. James and Ryan are in the back. If you guys could just give a quick wave. They are actually hiring salespeople, and go talk to them if you guys are interested. Also, huge thanks to our sponsors, Scaled, Sales Loft, and Closer IQ. They've also got an amazing LinkedIn photo booth set up over there. And then, of course, thanks to the folks at My Pizza for supplying us with pizza. Best pizza in the world is in New York. So, without further ado, I want to welcome Marc Jacobs from Greenhouse. We're going to dive in and get started. As many of you know, if you've never been to one of our events before, we get tactical pretty fast, which people really appreciate. And actually, in preparing for this, we spent a bunch of time together. Sure. And Marc gave such great notes that I had to print them out and use a clipboard, which I don't think anybody's seen in like 20 years. So we'll get started with that. We go for about 30 minutes or so. Then we turn it over to the audience and go to the questions and go deep on the areas you guys want to hear about in case we don't cover something here. So with that, we'll get started. And thanks everybody for coming. And of course, thanks to my two co-founders of Building the Sales Machine, Dave Greenberger, who's over there, and Evan Bartlett, who's right over there. So thanks, guys. Cool. Marc, thank you for coming.
Thanks for having me.
Really appreciate it. Who here is a user of Greenhouse? Awesome, a lot of hands going up. Greenhouse is obviously in the applicant tracking space. You've obviously had a great career and are now VP of sales there. I think maybe a great place to start is how big the company was when you came on board and how big the company is today, to give people an idea of the scale of what you've done.
Sure. And for those of you that have seen clipboards like that, I bet you haven't seen in a long time file cards. So I do have my file cards because Evan's done such a good job of making sure that I'm prepped. The company was as a total, the organization, we were at about 34, 35 people. When I got there, it's almost 2 years now, 2 years in October. And I guess the follow-up question is how big we are now. We're at 220 people. The sales organization was 7 people, and now we're up to close to 70. Yep.
So we talked a lot about this. Growing a team from 7 to 70. Yeah. Can you tell us a little bit about the process and the structure that you set up to get there? I mean, that is enormous growth over a very short time frame.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot that goes into it, even before you start hiring the team that you're going to have. For me, it was really important to make sure that I had a good place for people to work before I started to recruit them, and that means like building a brand to figure out to be able to leverage so that you can get people to want to come work at your organization. So what goes into that? One is it's very important, and every salesperson wants a really good product that will work in the market. Product market fit's obviously important. I had nothing to do with that, but that was an important reason why I chose to go to Greenhouse. The second part is making sure that you can present a way that people that come work with you will be able to learn and be challenged, and build a coaching culture within it. And then finally, making sure that there's a realistic way for those salespeople to make money. I've seen too many times where sales reps have gone to companies with lofty OTEs and expecting to make a lot of money, and they've been very successful at those companies and didn't come close to making the amount of money that they were promised to make from an OTE perspective. I think it's really important that you can show a sales rep, whether they're an SDR or an account executive or renewals, whatever it is, that if they're successful, they're going to be able to make a great deal of money.